Warm greetings from the high 10. Thanks for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. God bless all of you. I have a multitude of story updates to bring you guys, so please bear with me. It's long title. There might be one or two that weren't added in, and that will possibly be Biz Markie and Shock G from Digital Underground. So this is a very uh, winded, possibly. Live because these are updates to stories I've brought you. And Shock G is one story I didn't bring you. He did pass away. I will be bringing you said information pertaining to Condo Tower that collapsed, the latest information, the triple homicide out of Houston, Biz Markie, Shock G, DMX, pro golfer, suspect arrested in that case, Michael Avenatti, who was one of the attorneys that represented R. Kelly. He is now currently been sentenced to prison. And I will bring you a source to all those said stories. Thank you all so much for joining me. And thanks for joining me last night for that live. There will be a continuation to the live pertaining to Summer Wells and new information that has been repeated on the book. And I just got confirmation to one of those storylines pertaining to a will of pertaining to the death of the aunt and Summer Wells. And possibly that was the motive for this child going missing. I don't know. Speculation only, but I'll bring you a live pertaining to that commentary later this evening. But right now, I want to get into this said video. Okay, this is pertaining to Surfside, Florida. Fox 9 is the source. The death toll now climbs to 64 amid recovery effort. The death toll climbed to 64 people in a collapsed condo building in Florida Thursday as the painstaking search for survivors switched to a recovery effort, officials said. 10 additional victims were discovered in the rubble, officials said Thursday, bringing the death toll to 64 in the June 24th collapse of the Champlain Tower South building. Another 76 people were unaccounted for, although detectives were still working to verify that each of those listed as missing was actually in the building when it collapsed. Rescuers have spent 15 days digging in the mound of concrete and twisted steel in Surfside, located just north of Miami Beach, searching in vain for any survivors. But the rescue turned into a recovery effort late Wednesday after authorities concluded there was no chance of life in the rubble. Miami-Dade Mayor Cava said Thursday that crews were dedicated to the task of recovering as many victims as possible. Detectives are still working to verify that each of those listed as missing was actually in the building when it collapsed. Meanwhile, rescue workers who have been at the site for 2 weeks are dedicated to the task of recovering as many victims as possible, Levine Cava said. The work continues with all speed and urgency, she said. We are working around the clock to recover victims and to bring closure to the families as fast as we can. Okay, I'm not going to read all of that. Just want to give you a top number. Hello, everybody in the chat. 64 decedents recovered out of the rubble, and the effort is still continuing. And at this point, it is a recovery effort. Fox 9 is the source. Okay. Bring you my next update. Thank you all for joining me. I've got so many. Okay, let's see, where can I go now? I'm going to talk about pro golfer that was murdered over the weekend, last weekend in Georgia. And I'll be probably bringing 3 sources. I'm going to interchange the information because each article will have something possibly different than another. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe to the Queen. Amen. Okay. This is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. There is a photo of the suspect in this said information. Man arrested in DeKalb, charging golf course killings. Now, a nice-looking young man, African-American man. I don't know what his problem was, but nonetheless, he's accused of killing these people. Families in Cobb County anxious about the mysterious killings at an upscale Kennesaw golf course can breathe a sigh of relief. After 5 days with a few developments in the case, a man suspected in 3 deaths was captured Thursday afternoon. Brian Anthony Rogan, 23, of Atlanta, black male, was taken into custody in DeKalb County, more than 25 miles from Pine Tree Country Club, where golf pro Gene Siller, 46, was shot dead Saturday afternoon. According to Cobb officials, Rogan is charged with 3 counts of murder, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and 2 counts of kidnapping. Cobb Police Chief Tim Cox said during a hastened range news conference Thursday Few other details about the case were released, but Cox described Roden as the lone shooter. Roden, a native of Florida, was arrested about 5:15 at Chamblee Police Headquarters, according to Eric Hines, Deputy Commander of the U.S. Marshal Service Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force. The Chamblee Police Department, Cobb County Sheriff Office, U.S. Marshal Service were each involved in Roden's capture, officials said. Roden was unarmed and arrested without incident in the course of the investigation. According to the sheriff's office, he did not turn himself in. Siller, the country club's director of golf, shot killed after Roden drove a white Dodge Ram pickup truck onto the Kennesaw golf course with two bodies in its bed, according to police. Investigators don't believe Siller was targeted, but said he was shot when he went to investigate the truck on the 10th hole Saturday afternoon. The two other victims found in the truck were later identified as Henry Valdez, 46, Anaheim, California, and Paul Pearson, 76, of Topeka, Kansas, who owned the truck, according to Cobb officials. The men appear to have no connection to the country club. Public documents reveal that Pearson spent much of his adult life in and around California's wine country. He is listed as the director, president, treasurer, and secretary of Eco-Environmental Remediation, Services, Inc., based in Nevada. Detectives believe the three men were killed in the same area and within a short time frame, Cox said. Roden was identified as a potential suspect relatively early in the investigation and has ties to the metro Atlanta area, according to Cox. His current address is listed as Midtown Atlanta high-rise apartment. Cobb's jail records show the 23-year-old was a budding rapper who performed under the stage name B. Rod, according to his social media pages. Roden's first mixtape, Made It Out, was released June 18th. I put a lot of work into making my first tape as diverse as possible to show you there's no limit to what I can do and appeal to everyone, Roden said in an Instagram post that included a photo of the album cover. Cox acknowledged that Roden had been arrested before but would not provide any details about his prior record. Online jail records show Roden was arrested on several traffic charges in Chamblee last Saturday, hours after the three bodies were found on the course. Roden was arrested on misdemeanor charges of DUI, headlight violation, fake ID, driving without insurance, driving an unregistered vehicle, and using a license plate to conceal the identity of a vehicle, according to DeKalb County jail records. He was released on bond Tuesday evening, then arrested on the murder charges out of Cobb 2 days later. Roden has been arrested before on violent crime charges. As an 18-year-old student at Georgia State University in early 2016, Roden and another man were charged in a double shooting that took place during an apparent drug deal, the AJC previously reported. According to GSU police, Roden met two other men in a car outside his residence hall one night in March. Roden was attempting to sell men marijuana when an argument began, leading to a shootout between Roden and a 19-year-old man, a spokesman for the University Police Department said. Roden was hit once in the chest but shot the other man 3 times with a Glock 40 handgun. Ooh, mercy. Both were taken to Grady Memorial Hospital in serious condition, the spokesman said. Each man was later charged with assault, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm on campus. Investigators recovered both the guns and what they described as a significant quantity of marijuana. Roden was booked into the Fulton County Jail for release 3 days later on bond. He was indicted, but it's unclear if his case ever went to court. Prosecutors ultimately dropped the 19-year-old's charges, according to the Fulton court records. I wonder why that was. Cobb police refused to answer most of the media's questions due to the open and ongoing nature of the investigation. Cox would not say why Roden allegedly drove onto the golf course, how or where he may have kidnapped the 2 men in the truck bed, or what circumstances led to the deadly rampage. The brazen killing of Siller on the golf course shocked the Kennesaw community and prides itself on being one of the safest towns in the United States. Cobb residents were further unnerved as authorities provided few answers or updates on the case in the ensuing 5 days. I realized that some of the members of the community felt some frustration, Cox said. They felt like they had limited information, and I can respect that feeling. He added the successful arrest and prosecution of a suspect was their highest priority. Hello, everybody in the chat. Authorities think Siller may have happened upon a crime in progress and was killed because he witnessed an act of crime taking place. An agency spokesman said Thursday that most details related to the investigation would likely have to come out in court. Roden's first appearance hearing has been scheduled for 8 p.m. Friday, which is today, when his bond will be considered, according to the Cobb County Magistrate Court. He's set to appear before a judge virtually from the Cobb County Jail. We're working to learn more. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution is the source. So this man has been in trouble before. He was a student at a university. Drug deal went bad. He and other people engaged in gun play, and they all went to the hospital. Now they're saying that those charges were dropped by the DA, which I don't know why they would be dropped. Very interesting. And on the day that he had this crazy crime with these three men, he had an arrest for DUI, misdemeanor DUI, headlight violation, fake ID, driving without insurance, driving an unregistered vehicle, and using a license plate to conceal the identity of a vehicle. Whose car that was, I do not know. Was it stolen? I do not know. Borrowed? I do not know. He got released on that Tuesday evening and then rearrested 2 days later out of Cobb County. So he's been a busy fella. Nice looking black man, young man. I don't know what his problem is, an up and coming rapper. So I'm trying to figure out, why did he do this crime? How did he come across the two men in the cab? Did they know each other? The Hispanic man and the white man, I'm assuming, did they know each other? They worked together? What was going on? And what was he doing on the green? Was he drunk then? What? I don't know. Because I never understood why he was there on there. Because what could he be doing on the green? It's a golf course. So what crime could he be committing? He already got 2 dead people in the cab. I'm thinking maybe he was under the influence of something and just parked there. And then Siller, the pro golfer, walked up and he just went on and took him out. Very weird, odd story. Atlanta Journal-Constitution is the source for that said information. Okay, just hold on 1 second, honey. Thank you, Carol, so much. God bless you for the donation. Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you all so much for everything. God bless you. Okay, now I'm going to get back. I got so many updates, it's like, Lord have mercy. I can't keep up. Okay, trying to figure out which ones to go with. Bill Cosby. It has come to my attention through the news break. Mr. Cosby is happy to be out, thought it was a dream when he got out, was afraid to go to sleep when he told the attorney. He's afraid he'd wake up and realize it's all a dream. Pictures of him eating pizza at home on his sofa. The Root is the source for this latest shenanigans pertaining to Mr. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's publicist plays in all our faces, claims the comic is already working on a comeback comedy tour and more. The world wants to see Mr. Cosby, says publicist Andrew Wyatt. Do we, though? This is by Chanel Janae. What I'm going to say before I go into this article, if you've paid attention to Mr. Cosby, he looks very frail. He can barely walk, can't see. So I'm trying to figure out, what comedy show is Mr. Cosby going to perform? Please stop. Let that man just sit in a lawn chair, easy boy, lazy boy, and watch TV. Oops, I'm sorry. Listen to the TV. And in the rest of his days, quietly. I don't see him doing comedy because Mr. Cosby can barely walk, nor can he see. Don't call it a comeback. Like, seriously, please don't. Nobody wants this news. Now, this is personal commentary. Bill Cosby may be just a week out of jail, but the comic and actor is already making big plans for his new life outside of prison. According to The Cut, Cosby's publicist Andrew Wyatt has confirmed that there is indeed a comedy tour shaping up, adding that multiple comedy clubs are open to the idea of Cosby performing at their establishments. That's not only the kind of tour allegedly in the works. Wyatt also alluded to a potential speaking tour across prisons, schools, and neighborhoods that will be centered around being better citizens and curbing violence. Wait, please say, psych, you've got to be kidding me. Wyatt says the inspiration for the tour came about as a result of the moving stories Cosby heard behind bars. Additionally, TMZ reports that a five-part docuseries is expected to come down this pipeline. Per Wyatt, it will chronicle Cosby's life, legacy, and prison experience. And if that wasn't enough, folks can also expect a new book from the Pound Cake speaker in tandem with Frederick Williams that will follow Cosby's criminal case and his time in prison as well. Despite this news, industry insiders have expressed hesitance and alarm at Cosby's reemergence to the world of entertainment. As longtime PR strategist and crisis manager Howard Brahman, made clear last week, no matter how many deals he gets, Cosby's actions have undoubtedly left a permanent stain. He was not found innocent. He was released on a technicality. I would say the world still believes him to be guilty for the heinous crimes he was charged with, and he's going to live a very O.J. Simpson-like existence for the rest of his life. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. Only time and public opinion will tell. The Root is the source for this information. So allegedly, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, mods. So allegedly, per publicist conversation, book deal, documentary, and comedy shows are in the works for Mr. Cosby. As I said, if you watched his release last week, he could barely walk. He was holding hands with people, very frail. He's underweight, and allegedly he can't see. You can see that. You can notice that in one of his second mugshots that was taken while in prison, with a mask under his chin. He's not even looking into the camera. Mr. Cosby can't see. Mr. Publicist, stay woke. Enough of the foolishness. Anyway, you're entitled to believe what you want pertaining to Mr. Cosby and the crimes that he has been accused of. And as this article says, he has admitted to doing things he didn't have any business doing in the past with women. It was told to him via district attorney years ago that whatever he said in the deposition against the one lady that was suing him in the civil suit, it wouldn't be used against him. So that lets you know there was guilt admitted. But they lied, took him to trial anyway, and they won, and now he has been released per Supreme Court order. That's the said information by the rules. All right. Thanks for joining me. This rainy afternoon in the high 10. I'm just going to run down the ones I have. All right. Biz Markie, 57 years old. Many of you remember him as a rapper back in the 80s. Mr. Markie is not well. Oh, come on now. Rapper. Okay. Now I'm going to start acting crazy. Here I go. Sorry about this. Uploading is very slow. I'm having a lot of issues lately. Rapper Biz Markie, 57, in hospice with brain damage after reports claiming Just a Friend hitmaker died. Fans of the 57-year-old call the Just a Friend hitmaker situation brutal. Despite reports that the rapper has died, reporter Brandon Scoop B. Robinson took to Twitter on Wednesday night to state that the reports are false. However, he added that the singer has significant brain damage. The Just a Friend singer, who was born as Marcel Hall, has dealt with health complications in the past. Back in July 2020, he was hospitalized for several weeks with complications from type 2 diabetes. TMZ reported he was treated in the Maryland area for serious illness related to his diabetes, while the outlet clarified his hospitalization was not related to COVID-19. That's all I have right now for him. The Sun, the U.S. Sun is the source. So allegedly, he has brain damage and in hospice care. Prayers for rapper Biz Markie, 57 years of age. Okay. Next, Shock G. Thank you for joining me. Cause of death now announced. Digital Underground founding member Shock G's cause of death has been revealed months after the rap pioneer died at the age of 57. So he's the same age as Biz Markie. Per TMZ, Shock G died from an overdose of fentanyl, alcohol, methamphetamine is determined by the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner. He was found unresponsive by a hotel manager at a Tampa hotel April 22nd and was last seen the day before. The manager went to check on Shock G's room after he reportedly missed his checkout time at the hotel. The manager called 911 upon finding him, and Shock G was pronounced dead at the scene shortly after. His death was confirmed by Digital Underground's co-founder Chop Master J in a post on Instagram in April. 34 years ago, almost to the day, we had a wild idea. We can be a hip-hop band and take on the world, wrote Chop Master J. Long live Shock G, a.k.a. Humpty Hump. And rest in peace, my brother, Greg Jacobs. Shock G's funeral was held May 1st. Shock G was best known for his work as a producer for some of the most important names in hip-hop, including Tupac, and his output with Digital Underground. The Bay Area rap outfit released 6 albums throughout their career and was best known for its 1989 song, The Humpty Dance. Following his death in April, an unpublished essay on the early days of hip-hop from Shock G was published on Twitter by writer Rob Tannenbaum. We all knew we were a part of something that was artistically heavy, unique, intelligent, different, as creatively rich as jazz or classical music, and completely brand new to the universe, he wrote in the essay. Rest in peace, Shock G. Said information is by the Complex if you need verification. Next story. Thank you all for joining me. Sorry. A lot of info out here in the world. I'm just bringing you the said information. DMX. Hello, everybody. Medical examiner's office reveals DMX official cause of death. Source.com is the source. According to a report from Vulture, the Westchester County Medical Examiner's Office has released the cause of DMX's death almost 3 months after his untimely passing. According to the report, DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, died from a cocaine-induced heart attack, which prevented circulation to his brain. It was cardiac arrest for a period of time, so there was no circulation to the brain, said a medical examiner's office rep, who also added X's regular cocaine use, ultimately leading up to his death. His death literally happened immediately because the brain was dead, source added. So obviously there were a number of days where he was on ventilatory support and so forth in the hospital. However, he was diagnosed brain dead early on. He never woke up at coma. DMX was taken off life support after being in a coma for almost a week before being taken off ventilation systems and pronounced dead on April 9th. He was 50 years old. Prayers to the family, Shock G, and DMX, and prayers for Biz Markie, who is allegedly in hospice in the hospital. That is said information. The source is this source of information pertaining to DMX. Thank you all for joining. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining me. Lord, here's another death in here. I just got a notification today, just as I'm sitting here. Suzanne Douglas, African-American woman that played in Parenthood, star, is dead at 64. Some of you may remember her in the Parenthood and When They See Us. Beautiful black African-American female has just passed away. Lord have mercy. God help us. I'll bring an update to that a little later. So I just brought you information about DMX, Shock G, Biz Markie, Bill Cosby. Now on to Michael Avenatti. Thank you for joining me. CNN is the source. Michael Avenatti sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for attempting to extort Nike. A federal judge on Thursday sentenced celebrity lawyer turned criminal defendant Michael Avenatti to 30 months in prison for attempting to extort millions of dollars from Nike. Avenatti, who rose to fame as Stormy Daniels' lawyer, was convicted in February 2020 of 3 counts for threatening to publicly accuse the sportswear company of illicitly paying amateur basketball players unless Nike paid him. Mr. Avenatti's conduct was outrageous, U.S. District Judge Paul Gardefee said during the sentencing. Mr. Avenatti had become drunk on the power of his platform, or what he perceived his platform to be. Speaking before the court Thursday, Avenatti only wept, choking up at several points and pausing in his remarks before continuing. Referring to the 2 mediums that fueled his rise to fame, he told the judge that TV and Twitter, Your Honor, mean nothing. I betrayed my own values, my friends, my family, myself. He said, I and I alone have destroyed my career, my relationships, my life. According to evidence presented at trial, Avenatti told lawyers for Nike that he would hold a news conference claiming the company illegally paid players. In exchange for not going public, Avenatti demanded Nike pay his client at the time, youth basketball coach Gary Franklin, $1.5 million, pay Avenatti and other attorney $12 million, and guarantee $15 million to $25 million in payments for an internal investigation. After initial conversations with Avenatti, Nike's lawyers had approached prosecutors about what they believed was his attempt to extort them. The FBI secretly recorded subsequent conversations between Avenatti and the Nike lawyers. The colorful quotes, many of which the judge read aloud Thursday, formed the basis for the indictment. Avenatti, 50, still faces trials on 2 additional criminal indictments. One in New York over allegations he defrauded Daniels, his former client, out of $300,000 from her book advance, and another in California for allegedly defrauding other clients of his law firm. The sentence Avenatti received Thursday was significantly lower than the recommended by the sentencing guidelines, which call for 108 to 135 months in prison, though higher than the 6 months his counsel had requested. Avenatti's lawyer, Daniel Perry, told the court that he really did want to be the David fighting the Goliath. She added, he certainly lost his way. Hello, everybody. Prosecutor Matthew Podolsky, however, said Avenatti had shown a profound lack of remorse. This case was not hard-nosed, not about hard-nosed negotiations, he said. It was about deceit. It was about threats. It was about taking from others and it was about abuse of trust. In determining Avenatti's sentence, the judge said that one of the factors he had taken into consideration was the horrific conditions Avenatti had endured at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, the federal facility in Lower Manhattan, where Avenatti was held at the start of his detention. Avenatti was held in solitary confinement for 100 days, according to his lawyer, and then twice in lockdown, once because someone had smuggled in a gun in the facility and once due to coronavirus. The judge said of the conditions of Avenatti's confinement that it was hard to believe they could occur in the United States. I don't know why he's shocked at that. Anyway, the judge also said a lengthy sentence for Avenatti wouldn't be just because another lawyer, whose prosecutors once called a co-conspirator, was ultimately never charged. The judge ordered Avenatti to report to a federal prison camp in Sheridan, Oregon by September 15th. This story has been updated with further details. CNN is the source. So Mr. Avenatti, who represented Stormy Daniels, R. Kelly is now going to be going to jail himself, joining the ranks of his former client, Robert Sylvester Kelly. He's also accused of defrauding Miss Stormy Daniels out of $300,000 pertaining to a book deal, defrauding other clients of his law firm, and facing 2 additional criminal indictments. Avenatti is 50 years of age. Oh, Lordy, what a mess. CNN is the source for that information. I think I've got all my stories up to par. The next story is pertaining to the triple homicide in Houston. As most of you know, a family was bludgeoned to death, execution style, inside of a Houston apartment. A mother, father, and child were gunned down, shot in the head, 1 10-year-old shot in the arm, a 1-year-old thrown to the ground, 10-year-old played dead. And when the suspect left the apartment, she called her grandmother on FaceTime video chat to tell her of the horrific crime, and she is now currently alive and naturally down the road will testify against the said suspect. Robbery is believed to be the motive in this case. And I will read you the said information pertaining to this horrific crime. Oh, mercy. What a mess. Excuse me. Pull it back up. Out of Houston. Judge revokes bond in triple homicide. Uploaded July 6th. Xavier Davis, 28, facing 3 capital murder charges, 1 charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in connection with a triple homicide last week in Houston. A Harris County district judge on Tuesday revoked bond for a man charged with capital murder and shooting deaths last week of 3 people, including a child at their Houston home. Xavier Davis of Houston was already, oh mercy, he's jumping off. Sorry. Let's see. I don't know why this is jumping off here. Sorry about this. A lot of these articles don't want you reading anything unless you're signing up to buy something, such as their information. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to have to read something else if this one's not acting properly. Sorry about the misconfusion. Let me go to another one. Let's see if it'll pull up. Okay. Xavier Davis of Houston was already in Harris County Jail after a different judge revoked bond on Friday on an unrelated family violence charge. Prosecutors last week charged him with 3 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Don Yavia Lagway, Gregory Carheat, Harmony Carheat, their 6-year-old daughter. Davis also accused of shooting one of the couple's other 10-year-old girl was injured but survived. Initially, magistrate set the bail at $300,000. I don't know why this article will not. Oh, this is weird. Okay. For some reason, it just doesn't want to hold this article. I don't know what's the problem. $300,000 in the death of Harmony, $260,000 each in the other capital murder charges, $220,000 for the aggravated assault charge. 3 people. Murder is believed to be the motive. On Tuesday, I can't read this one. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I'm gonna have to find another one. This one's not. It's not rolling up. Thank you for joining me. That's okay. I don't need any assistance, you guys. Just sit back and listen. I'm having issues with my Wi-Fi anyways. I don't know what's going on. I have to find something else. Because I wanted to bring the story pertaining to the motive of what was said in that case. First, what a day. One second. It's crazy. Let's see if I can find something else that I upload. Okay. How this is the same story. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to bring you different information because this is not the story I really wanted. But a new charge for man accused of killing couple, their daughter in Southwest Houston, police say. This is uploaded the 7th. A man accused of killing a couple, a 6-year-old daughter, injured a 10-year-old daughter, is now facing charge of aggravated robbery on top of 3 capital murder charges. Homicide detectives said an hour before the triple murder last Wednesday night, Xavier Davis, 28, carjacked someone for their Jeep Compass at Larkwood. The carjacking and the shooting scenes are a little over 3 miles apart. Detectives said the stolen Jeep was found an hour after the triple murder engulfed in flames in Pearland. Davis was in court accused and charged with 3 counts of capital murder. The court is working to consolidate the cases. Police said Davis shot and killed Gregory Carheed, Danyavia Lagway, and the couple's 6-year-old daughter, Harmony. He also shot their 10-year-old daughter in the arm. Relatives said the 10-year-old girl played dead after shooting and called for help after the gunman left their apartment on Farnham. Davis is now being held without bond at Harris County Jail. There's no word right now if he appeared in court Wednesday on the new charge. Channel 2 Houston News is the source for that information. Let me see if I can pull up this Houston Chronicle article. It's the same one. It won't pull. I don't know. I want to get to the information of the robbery because that's the most important thing pertaining to this. Authorities said they believe Davis went into the apartment and demanded money. The surviving child heard her father say, "This is all I've got," before the gunman started shooting the victims in the head at point-blank range. Donnelly said the wounded girl played dead. Investigators received an anonymous tip about Davis and linked him to the shooting by matching ammunition. See, it's jumping off. I don't know why they don't let this article roll. It's very weird. I have to read this like a speed demon. Okay. Anonymous tip came in, matching ammunition, ballistics. Police discovered a silver revolver with specialty ammunition and match evidence from the crime scene. Weeks before the shooting, Davis was charged on June 7th with aggravated assault of a family member in connection with an attack on a girlfriend. This assault was unrelated to this crime. Trying to read as fast as I can because it keeps unloading for some reason. This is the Houston Chronicle, this information that I'm bringing to you. So he was arrested for another charge pertaining to a girlfriend. And ammunition and ballistics have linked him to the crime scene. And it says he got an aggravated assault charge on the 7th of a family member in connection with the attack on his girlfriend. Davis accused the woman of seeing someone else and pulled out a gun while yelling and cursing at her, according to court records. Taken into custody last Thursday in connection with the family violence case and subsequently charged in a triple homicide. 2014 was convicted and sentenced to 8 years confinement for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, according to Harris County records. 2012, he was convicted on a reckless driving charge. That is the sad information. So obviously, he went in his house demanding money. The father said, "This is all I got." I don't know if he took the money right then or shot them all in the head, then took the money. Where I have the problem with the story is, like most, did he know them? Did he watch them, assume they had something of wealth, or he knew these people personally? That has not been described in any of the commentary that I've brought to you. The Houston Chronicle is the source, but the child is now saying she heard the father tell him, "This is all I've got." So, robbery was the motive, assumingly, for this. He also has been accused of another charge pertaining to a girlfriend. He assumed she was seeing somebody. So an altercation ensued. And that said, commentary. Oh, Lord have mercy. And it also says other charges are being transferred to Warren's courtroom and have yet to be heard. This is very crazy to me. They do have ammunition and ballistics. And it says on June 7th, he was charged with aggravated assault of a family member in connection with an attack on his girlfriend, unrelated attack to the triple homicide. He accused the woman of seeing someone else and pulled out a gun while yelling and cursing at her, according to court records. Taken into custody last Thursday in connection with the family violence case and subsequently charged in the triple homicide. So he's been a busy bee, running around, pulling out guns because this mess over here with a girlfriend. Then you're over here robbing these people. So this guy likes gunplay. Well, now he can sit in a Houston jail and contemplate his decision-making skills. He obviously doesn't care about life. He doesn't care about other people because he don't care about his own life. And sadly, 3 people are dead. 3 people have to be buried. Children are left behind to be now taken care of by a grandmother because they no longer have a father and a mother. And this is a sad, sad tragedy. 3 lives lost for nothing over some probably chump change. They have not released the amount of money. They have not released if and how these parties knew each other. As I told you all, nobody climbs 2 flights of stairs for a random killing. Misidentification. Gang initiation. No. Gang initiation, you shoot anybody walking by, sitting at the bus stop to prove you got the guts to kill somebody. Climbing 2 flights of stairs means I know you up there. So I think. And I'm getting ready to come talk to you, handle you directly. That's my perception of the situation. We're in a sick world and people are falling off like flies right now. First, it was COVID in the past year taking out people. And besides COVID, we have the 2-legged creature who doesn't deem you worthy to breathe. People are killing their children. Random people killing children. Random people killing people. Random people killing their own family. It is sick out here. So all I can do is say, be leery and watchful of the company you keep, the behavior of others. You see people acting subversive, talking subversive, you might want to remove yourself from the equation. Don't wait to see what's going to jump off. Just hightail it on, get you some business. Now, naturally, one will not know the mindset of a person plotting to kill them, but I'm just saying a lot of behavior is exhibited before murder, such as domestic violence. Usually, a person that keeps doing things such as hitting you, cursing you, doing devious things, tampering with your phone, your home, your devices, they're sending you the message they don't like you. So don't hang around them. Don't talk to them. Don't converse. Don't meet them. Don't let them in your house. Take back your keys. Change your locks. Change your phone number. Hell, if need be, you got the paper, change your location. Life can be a beautiful thing, but you can't experience life if you are deceased. So decision making is the key to survival on top of this dirt. And like I said, a lot of people have left here not knowing someone despised them enough to snuff them out. But when you see the signs from a deviant figure with 2 legs, take heed and remove yourself from the equation. And if you fear for your safety, call the police, file a protection order, and follow through. Don't drop the paper trail because it may save your life. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live stream. I want to thank you all for joining me, following the content. I've been on this box 2 years this month. This is my anniversary for being on the YouTube Nation for 2 years. Formally partnered last fall, 2020. Thank you so much, YouTube, and those who follow the content. I will bring you updates to every story that I talk about as fast as I can get it out. I just bring it to you the best that I can. I put all these names in the title because it's just easier than uploading a video per storyline. And since they're just updates, I just put them all in the same video. So this compilation video is pertaining to the Houston triple homicide. The suspect is now incarcerated. Michael Avenatti is now facing 2.5 years in prison for trying to defraud Nike. Also coming up under indictment and charges of defrauding other clients. DMX cause of death. Biz Markie hospitalized, hospice care. Cause of death for Shock G from Digital Underground rap group. Pro golfer Gene Siller murdered last weekend with 2 other men in Georgia, Kennesaw, Georgia. Suspect apprehended, African-American up-and-coming rapper. Why he did that is a mystery to me. I'm very baffled by that crime because I'm trying to figure out, did he rob the man who owned the truck? Was this a case of robbery? He was broke, he needed money. It also stated he lives in a high-rise building. We know that Atlanta is very expensive to live, and those high-rises are not cheap in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. So what I have to ask myself, 1, did he own the apartment, rent the apartment, or was he staying with a cutie pie? Stay woke. Because if you can afford rent downtown Atlanta, you don't have no reason to be robbing nobody. That's the spoken word. It costs to live in Atlanta, Georgia. So the fact that he was in a skybox, I'm questioning what the hell really went on that green. And before he parked that vehicle on the green for Mr. Siller to approach that truck to also find himself dead by this suspect. Very weird story. But it could just be the same as the triple homicide in Houston. Homeboy wanted some money. He found a victim with a nice fancy truck. Soon he had a nice pocket full of money, and he knocked him off, and he knocked off possibly the company that was with him, because they have not confirmed the relationship between the 2 dead men that were already in the cab before he murdered Mr. Siller. Wicked, wicked, and more wicked. I brought you all commentary last night pertaining to Summer Wells and the lie number 3 that her mother has spun to the media. I brought you a source, which was Fox News. I did get confirmation a little while ago before going live that there was a will exacted, pulled up by the grandfather, which father I do not know, or which parent, but nonetheless, I do have confirmation that my source has seen the will papers, because Miss Joelle put it in my inbox that another network showed documentations of a will. So I mentioned it to somebody, and that source has verified, also seeing the documentation. So therefore, we're going to go on the assumption that there was a will and an aunt was left in the will, but naturally she went missing, so she could not collect on the will. Candace's sister, who is currently missing out of the state of Wisconsin. Whatever happened to her, I do not know, but she's a cold case, missing out of St. Croix, 2009. So I don't know if the grandfather said, well, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Miss Summer. And naturally, I guess the person could collect it because it's their child. Insurance money is a little bit different. You can't collect on insurance money without having a body. And there has to be an autopsy done once a body has been discovered. And definitely it can't be foul play with a dead body if it's related to the person doing the collecting of said insurance money. But in this case, if indeed Summer Wells was willed money from any participant in her family, I'm assuming it will go to the next of kin, which would be her mother. But my right mind would say there's probably a stipulation in that will that Candace can't receive the money. Because think about it. A person would leave money to a 5-year-old should tell you something. They didn't intend for it to go to Candace in the first place. Just like if indeed it is true that the sister was a participant in receiving the money and then vanished, she's gone, she couldn't receive it because she's not to be found. She's possibly not even alive. I doubt that she's just wandering around, not using her own damn name and social security number. Very rare that people just fall off and stop using their government name unless they're on the run or have some type of mental problem. So who's to say that in this will, that Candace will be the designated party to receive the said funds if and when something happens to Summer. It's usually a will, it's specific. When a person wants to make sure that said person gets the money. And I've learned that when people pass away, their next of kin stands in line to receive the funds. So let's say a man has left his sister money. Well, she dies. That money automatically goes to her children. They're the next in line to receive the money. So in this case, Summer was 5, she could have made children. It would 9 times out of 10 go to her mother. But I got a funky feeling there's a stipulation in there that says Miss Candace Wells can't receive that money. We will see if that is true. What is the truth about this will, allegedly? Is this the motive for her murdering her child? Is to collect that said money? Many people were speculating the other day about her putting in an order for windows, this and that. We have to ask ourselves, where are you getting money from? To all of a sudden now want to refurbish your house. And then we have to count the gossip pertaining to the state of the property. Now all of a sudden now you're allegedly putting in an order to fix up your home. Like I said, is this a GoFundMe shuffle, scam, scheme? Is this an issue of the child coming into money, get her gone? But see, the thing about the story is you forgot one thing. If you want to believe this storyline, Summer Wells' body has not been discovered and or brought to light. So ain't nobody collecting nothing without a body. Shut your mouth. I tell y'all, stay woke. Stay woke. Until Summer Wells resurfaces, ain't nobody collecting no insurance money, no money from a will, no nothing. Until her body resurfaces alive and or deceased. And if indeed foul play is suspected, if she is found deceased, and it somehow has any indication that her family, mother, father, is the culprits, you can bet your bottom dollar there will be no check cut from the insurance company nor a will. And that's the law. Thank you all for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments on my community post. Odds on deck. You all have a wonderful weekend. The Queen will be back later with a continuation into the disappearance of Summer Wells. That live video will be pertaining to the assumption allegation of a motive for death, the will. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Yes, stay woke.